Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer of all time. That's what Kendrick Perkins says. Wow. So what does that even mean? Is he the greatest shooter or the greatest scorer? Right? And this is making LeBron look bad. This is making LeBron look bad. So look, I heard this, I think it was this morning, listening to sports and fitness rants. Oh, God. And it just hurts my head to think that the NBA, again, cannot sell itself based on this on-court play, folks. This is it. This is from Kendrick Perkins, who said something about in the lines of, when he was talking one day about something, he was going back and forth. I forget who he was going back and forth with. But he said something about he's not losing his job at ESPN. He needs his job. I told you guys, these guys who supposedly made tens of millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars in their career are fighting to have another job somewhere, coaching, reading off a teleprompter, doing something when they retire after making tens of millions and hundreds of millions on a contract. Now, did Perk make hundreds of millions? Probably not, right? But he wasn't getting paid nothing. The guy was a starter on a championship team, and he played in the NBA for a hot minute. So we can assume this guy made tens of millions of dollars, right? Especially at the height of his career. Guys were getting paid that much back then. So we won't get into that. We keep just wondering why these guys have to take these jobs and put on makeup and read from teleprompters after they retire. And now say dumb stuff that makes no sense. And they only say this dumb stuff, ex-players, to keep the NBA afloat. So they will have a job putting on makeup, reading from a teleprompter, having a, what do you call it? A YouTube channel, a podcast. I thought Gilbert Arenas was worth $50 million. Rasheed Wallace, where's your money at, bro? You're supposed to make all this money, and this is what you do all the time. I won't say every day, but, well, I guess I would say every day. These guys is on a podcast. Where's their money at? They ran out of money? Before we get into this, let me see, man. Let me see. I'm going to pull it up. And we're supposed to believe these guys made all this money. Hold on. Kendrick, are you counting other man's money? Because I don't believe they made this kind of money. Kendrick Perkins. Let's look. Everything's public, right? Well, in 15, oh God, the internet always trying to do something different than what you want to do. Always. Let me see if I can pull this back up. It just went to something totally different. I wasn't even on. They probably trying to hate. What are you doing? Wow, that's crazy. I never even seen it do that. NBA salary. Let me see. You can look all this stuff up, guys. Well, Kendrick didn't make a lot of money, as much as these other players. So he made a total of $56 million in his career. Let me see, year by year. Really don't matter year by year. His first year, $800,000. Then you go up to $800,000 next year. Next year, $900,000. Next year, $1.5. Next year, almost $4.5. Next year, almost $4.5. Next year, almost 4.2. Next year, 4.5. Next year, $7 million with Oklahoma City. Wow. That's after he won those rings. Oh, inflation. And then the next year, $7 million. Next year, almost 8.5 million. Next year with Utah, he makes 9 million. And then the next year, 1.5 next year. So this guy made all this money. And you know, these guys don't make all this money. They still got to pay. They still got to pay taxes and lawyers and stuff like this. But still yet, of course, of course, you want to do this. Yeah, of course. But even if I was to make off with 20 million or 10 million, why would I need to work at ESPN? Let's see. Let's look somebody up. So, what is this thing doing? We'll get back into this in a minute. Hey, you count somebody money. Because I'm driving right now. I ain't counting these guys' money. What I'm saying is, if you expect for me to believe these guys made this kind of money, but now they're wearing makeup and reading scripts, and even when these guys got these podcasts now, they're reading scripts. And let me tell you something. Let's be honest. A lot of these podcasts are deep fakes. These guys aren't even really there. And I have no problem with that, but I'm just trying to tell you the reality of it. Okay? LeBron, mind the game. JJ and LeBron was never there. How you know, man? It's just of my opinion. Just the way people move on these podcasts and stuff like that. They were never there. LeBron has all this money. He would never have to show up and do that type of stuff when they got technology at the tip of their finger. Also, I caught many a times these guys aren't even at these press conferences now. That after the game, they're not even there. They're not even there. They're deep faking you dummies, okay? They're not even there. It's crazy. I won't even get into that. They're not even there. It's a whole different person. They're not even there. So Kevin Durant, he says, Kendrick Perkins says Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer of all time. Now, is he the greatest shooter? Because they say Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, right? I guess I would have to disagree, but he's up there. Let me ask you something. So if LeBron isn't the greatest defender in his era, and maybe not even top 5 defender of his era, not the greatest scorer of his era, not the greatest shooter of his era, because we don't even have to talk about of all time. I'm talking about just in LeBron's era, because we have Curry, the greatest shooter in LeBron's era. We have Durant, the greatest scorer in LeBron's era. And you can pick and choose. Well, you can put Kobe in there too, if you want to say the 2000s. And then you have a mix of people. You can put better defenders, the best defender in his era. A slew of people. So where does that leave LeBron James? Before we talk about Kevin Durant, where does that leave LeBron James? How is he the GOAT if he's not potent on offense, and he's not great on defense, and he's not good on defense? I don't understand. Master told me if I'm to keep my jobs, I gotta say a whole bunch of stupid stuff that don't make no sense. But I need my job. Kendrick, you just made $50-something million over your career. What the hell happened to all that money? That you need to now get up and say all this dumb stuff on ESPN while wearing makeup, reading teleprompters for ESPN. Tell us. So Gilbert Arenas made $163 million in his career. That's what this is. Hoops hype. I guess down here what is this? I want to say this 232 million. I think this is inflation. Current US dollars adjusted for inflation from data provided, for inflation. So whatever you think these guys pay for lawyers, taxes, agents, managers, that's up to you. But there's no way when you making this kind of money, unless you spend it all, which they always say that some of them do, right? If you actually believe the lie, that you should be able to have to get up every day wearing makeup, going to the teleprompter, and reading what somebody else is telling you to say. Now, doing podcasts, I guess you can say what you want to say. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. Whether you want to believe me or not, some of these guys out here are getting paid by ESPN, right? Some of the little names that have podcasts and channels and stuff like that. Some of these guys are getting paid by Unclutch Sports, right? To say all this dumb stuff. And I'm not talking about they're getting paid $1 million or they're getting paid $2 million or something like that. But if you're getting paid $20,000, $50,000, or even $100,000 from these companies like ESPN or Disney or Unclutch Sports, it's money. It's money. It's money. And they have a big platform, right? So it influences, right? That's what happens. And I won't really get into no names. I have in the past, but it's whatever. A lot of these people, they sell their soul for money, right? And they will tell you right in your face, it's not about money. I'm not doing this for money. Ain't nobody paying me. Well, that's what liars tell people. Liars are liars. Liars will look you dead in the face and tell you a bold-faced lie. That's what a liar does. Will smile in your face, put their arm around you, call you fam and all this stuff. That's what liars do, right? The good people are controlled by liars. Or the people who want to be good people and honest people, they're controlled by liars. And liars, they smile with you, they laugh with you, and they tell you, you're part of their family. That's why I hate that word when they say fam. Bro, you ain't my fam. You ain't my fam. If you ain't part of my family crest, you ain't my fam. No offense, but people using that word just to reel people in to make money off of them. And there's all kind of people deceiving people. Will call them fam and will lie straight to your face. Yeah, the devil people. But yeah, this is the Kendrick Perkins and these people who need money after they made tens of millions of dollars playing, if not hundreds of millions. LeBron needs more money. He needs his son to come into the NBA and make more money off of his likeness, off of jersey sales, all this stuff after this guy's supposed to be worth $1 billion. Right? This is entertainment. The stuff that they tell you guys that these guys are making this kind of money. Because what they do after they retire don't add up. It don't add up. How they're playing on the court, their views and people watching this don't add up to the money they're making. It don't add up. Some of these guys should be worth this money. I'm not going to lie. But you're trying to tell me Jaylen Brown? the biggest record-breaking contract of all time, Jaylen Brown? Jaylen Brown. So, again, this is what I'm going to tell you. What you've been told is a bunch of nonsense from Kendrick Perkins. He needs his job, and he needs to say stupid stuff that makes absolutely no sense, so Mazza will keep feeding him. Because obviously he never made the money that he says, or not he says, but the money that it says that he made. These guys literally got to live at ESPN. How much money can you make more than what you was making or already made when you made tens of millions of dollars? Supposedly. ESPN is going broke. I was watching a game yesterday. What was it? Celtics and Golden State game? It's so bad now. It is so bad now that they have Doris Burke and Jay Billis. Not that I don't like Jay Billis. Jay Billis is great. He's got humor. He's funny. But to see Jay Billis now doing NBA games just goes to show you. ESPN really has no money. Yeah, that's another guy too, JJ Redick, that made tens of millions of dollars supposedly in his career. And then now he's a color analyst and he has to podcast to get money. Wow. And now he's coaching. Okay, guys. Okay. So Kevin Durant. When you see this guy shoot, he's a great scorer. When you seen him shoot in the Olympics, you're like, wow, him and Curry. You would say these guys are the greatest shooters and greatest scorers of all time. But did they change the defensive rules in the NBA to benefit the players? Kevin Durant, he has a few scoring titles, but he's only averaged 30 points per game 2 times in his career. Lord help me. Lord help me. So it's clear to see that he's probably not even on the level of Michael Jordan, where Jordan, total points in the season was 3,000. In many 2,500 or more points in the season. Kevin Durant ain't sniffing that. And he shoots way more threes than Michael Jordan ever thought of. Another thing is, if he's the greatest scorer of all time, he should be no problem. When we look at guys like Jerry West, Michael Jordan, maybe Allen Iverson, maybe Kobe Bryant, Wilt Chamberlain, you could even oh goodness, because I don't just like to talk about people who shoot from the outside. I'm talking about real scorers of the past that would average 35 to 40 points in this soft, fake, weak era. In a no-touch era, you can't come up with 35 to 40 points per game every single season, and you guys are shooting all these damn threes. There's no defense. And nobody can average 35 points a game in this era? Wow. See how they fool you? They say these guys are the greatest shooters of all time, the greatest scorers of all time, but they have no guys that can average 35 points per game. Where's all these guys averaging 35 points a game? Now, they can give you a whole bunch of games to where they score 70 points and 60 points and stuff like that. Where's all the guys averaging 35, 37, or 40 points per game? Where they at? What about LeBron? All the dunks and layups he does? Where's his... This guy can't even average 30 points where you're doing dunks and layups. I just don't get it, man. I mean, you have Joel Embiid, you have Joker, you have AD. These are your centers. So you're trying to tell me Wilt Chamberlain would not average a damn 80 points per game in this era? Because y'all say, oh, he played against white guys, slow, unathletic white guys. Well, who are these guys today? You're trying to tell me Joker, AD, and Joel Embiid is going to stop Wilt Chamberlain from scoring 70? AD don't shoot no three, so don't talk, oh man, Wilt couldn't shoot the three. Patrick Ewing couldn't shoot the three. Olajuwon couldn't shoot the three. David Robinson couldn't shoot the three. Kareem couldn't shoot the three. So where's all these centers today shooting the three? AD barely shoots any threes. Joker maybe shoot like 2 a game, 3 if he goes crazy. Joel Embiid, he'll shoot 5 if he goes crazy. But most of his stuff is in the paint. So who's going to stop Shaq? Who's going to stop Shaq? You act like these guys can't play in this era. But yet you have Joker and Joel Embiid and AD, slow-footed Rudy Gobert, who dominated you fools. Rudy Gobert is the greatest defensive player in this era. Wow. LeBron, your best adjunct. This guy should have retired a long time ago. The longer he stays playing, the longer he gets exposed. And this era gets exposed. Rudy Gobert, the greatest big man and the greatest defensive player in this era that LeBron is playing in. Huh. And another thing is, they played defense back in the day. So your two-way players was people like Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Michael Jordan, Gary Payton, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor to a certain extent, Karl Malone to a certain extent, who else say? Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, these type of guys like this, and even more, if I missed any, even more, these guys were two-way players. So when Kendrick Perkins says, oh yeah, Kevin Durant is the greatest the greatest scorer, that really exposes him as a one-way player. 7 foot and averaging a block a game? That's it. 7 rebounds a game? That's it. Jason Kidd, if I'm not mistaken, averaged 7 rebounds a game. Clyde Drexler, if I'm not mistaken, averaged 7 rebounds a game. Kevin Durant? But what are these guys, out of breath, out of gas, out of stamina? What's going on? The domination should be so crazy. Their domination in rebounds, scoring, assists should be like just some video game, some futuristic-ish, right? We should be like, damn! And then we could condemn them and be like, man, this stuff is soft. No wonder you scoring 40 points a game, you grabbing 15 rebounds a game, you getting 16 assists a game because it's soft and weak. There's no defense. But guess what? These guys aren't even doing that. LeBron, as one of the greatest scorers of all time in the 2010s, in the 2020s, this guy should have averaged 35, 12, and 10 like it was nothing. Wemby, everybody's crying because I'm picking on him to play basketball. This dude was supposed to be a freak of nature, and he's struggling to score 20 points a game. In his second season, he's struggling to get 10 rebounds a game. And I'm the bad guy because I wanted to see this guy dominate the league. And now he started off slow last year. You was a rookie. This ain't the year to do it. You're supposed to put the pedal to the metal. You already tasted the waters of the NBA. You played these fools that needed a quadruple team, super team to beat you. And you had a slow-footed Rudy Gobert in the Olympics. You're supposed to be coming out and putting a Bronny into sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about Bronny. I'm giving you 35, 15, and 5 blocks. No! You know what? This guy wants to sit out there and launch up 14 threes a game and brick him up on top of that. Barely getting 10 boards, barely breaking 20 points in most of these games. Are you kidding me? Again, these guys can't even put up real video game numbers in the softest, weakest era of all time. They can't. It's no defense, and they can't put up crazy numbers. Where's the crazy numbers? Oh man, Luka put up 32, 7, and 7. You should be putting up more than that. Michael Jordan 1 year, I think it was at 89? Yeah, after he came off the 88 year. We know what that year was. He put up 32, 8, and 8 with that type of defense on him. Are you kidding me? 32, 8, and 8, folks, while giving you 3 steals in over a block. These guys should be able to put up way better numbers than that. I know Joker's putting up these almost triple-double. Joker should be able to put up 35, 10, and 10. Easily. You guys got to stop, man. The numbers these guys were putting up in the past with all this defense on them. Go watch some damn basketball from back in the day. See this defense in the 60s, the 70s. Jerry West is coming down damn court with a damn straight arm to his hip while he has to dribble the ball backwards. Or not backwards, he got to, come down the court backwards. That's how crazy you couldn't just sit there and put the ball in front of you and start dribbling like that, like LeBron does, like James Harden. These guys will rip you. They will rip you and be gone. And then the coach will be screaming at you, what a damn fool. Again, there's no real coaches today. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings, man, if you tell them he blown the assignment, or you can't scream at them. That's why Michael Jordan said he could never be a coach. The players turned into women. Kevin Durant just wants the ball. He don't want to be a leader. He don't want to play defense. He don't want nobody really coaching him. He just want a ball. Back in the day, it was defense first. Right? So if you couldn't play defense or wasn't one of the top defenders at your position, then you couldn't be on the court, right? You take like a guy like Steve Kerr. He couldn't start. Not because he wasn't a good player, it's because he wasn't the best defender at his position. Just couldn't do it. So they put who was it? BJ? No, Ron Harper. You think Ron Harper could shoot better than Steve Kerr? No. But Ron Harper, even though he was really broke down, he wasn't the same on that Bulls team as far as offensively. But he was a better defender than Steve Kerr. In the NBA back then, you needed your best defenders first. And then you could, offset that with, everybody on the court, on the starting five, didn't have to be a great offensive player. You could offset that with maybe 2, maybe 3 good offensive players. And what that means is the defense gave you nothing. You would have to earn all your buckets. And the great offensive players, they could usually do that. They didn't want that no more coming into the 210s. They don't want these guys to earn nothing. They're not earning no money when you change the defensive. I told you what these defensive rules are like. It's like they took the offensive line off the football. Say in the NFL, they took away the offensive line, the defensive line, and that's what you got now. You can keep your linebackers, your defensive backs, your safety. You keep the running back, you keep the quarterback, and keep your wide receivers and your tight ends. You just can't rush the quarterback. Now, if the quarterback goes over the line, yes, you can knock him out, or the running back or whatever like that. But that's essentially what the NBA has become. What I just told you. If the NFL was that. And if the NFL then said, start scoring 50 to 60 to 70, 80 points a game, and then said, oh man, Brady couldn't do this. Oh, Mahomes couldn't do this. Oh, Joe Montana couldn't do this. These dudes are just better skilled. What the hell are these people talking about? But they forget to tell you, after they say they're better skilled now, about everything they changed to make them skilled. They forgot to tell you that these players in the LeBron era got their heads kicked in, or should I say teeth kicked in, whatever you want to say, by Argentinian plumbers. And then got their head kicked in 2 years later by Greece plumbers. Both teams not a melanated brother on it. I think Greece might have had one. This guy was huge, right? I think it was Greece had one. Wasn't an NBA player, nothing like that, but pretty much plumbers. So the NBA already knew from that point, the LeBron era guys, if they're not getting helped by the NBA, by changing the rules and all this stuff, these guys aren't that good. They're not that good. They're okay basketball players. And just for them to even win in a rigged fake league, they still have to have super teams to win. People like LeBron, people like Kevin Durant. Now, look, talked about this before. I don't blame Kevin Durant for building a super team. And Stephen A. Smith, this dude is the biggest stupid, I ain't even gonna say it. But for him to always talk about Kevin Durant, how he went build a super team, LeBron did it twice before Kevin Durant did it. And there's no pushback from ESPN, from Stephen A. Smith, from Chris Broussard, from Nick Wright, from Shannon Sharp about that at all. And you're talking about Kevin Durant building a super team? He had no choice. LeBron did it twice before he did it. LeBron did it twice before Curry did it. What are we talking about? LeBron, the biggest coward, the biggest loser in NBA history. And they promote this guy as he's this great player. Again, exposed again, not the greatest shooter, not the greatest scorer, not the greatest defender, or even, really, I wouldn't say top 5 in those things in his era. Shooter? Scorer? Nope. One scoring title. James Harden has more. Kobe had more. Even Russell Westbrook has more. Kevin Durant has more. Joel Embiid has more. What are we talking about? When we can keep going down the list. So again, what these people like Kendrick Perkins does, they have to sell you what you really don't see. Don't believe what your eyes tell you. We're gonna tell you because we're on TV, and people who who see people on TV think these people are the know everything. They're the gods. They're the experts. All this stuff, they're idiots. They're scripted. They don't care about you. They're not telling you the truth. They're only there to make money. When the camera turns off, they laugh at you. They're actors. And the majority ain't even good actors. Kendrick Perkins is only on TV to say stupid stuff and get laughed at. This is all ESPN can get now. They're broke. Kendrick Perkins, they're broke. They're broke. These NBA players never made this kind of money in their career. They're broke. Now, I wouldn't say broke, but it's in terms of what we think they have or what we were told they made, they're broke. That's why they're taking a job on